There's Baker now Bowden to Wise. Yes. Got Henderson near the left side, and Franks. Money and Westell, you're greatly appreciated. Baker here for three, knocks it down. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here on the WHS Network, here on YouTube.com. As always, I'm Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy with you all here this evening for our Raider Sports Reports. Again, it's been a while since we've had one, and obviously wanted to wrap up this 2020-2021 athletic year with a bang, so to speak. What a year it's been. You know, a lot of uncertainty coming into the season, all the way dating back into 2020 when we first started volleyball. Up until like a couple weeks or so before the season, we really weren't exactly 100% sure how everything was going to, as far as what everything was going to look like. We didn't know if we was even going to get to broadcast any games, and so it was very interesting to say the least. Leading into how the season was going to look, not only for volleyball but the rest of the athletic year and the school year. And so here we are 10 months later, and what was quite the long journey, but a lot of fun. We always have so much fun here on the broadcast. Myself and Redbeard now been doing this for nearly 10 years. It'll be our 10-year anniversary. Technically for me it'll be September, and for Redbeard it's going to be in November. That's when I had him come on. I had to have a cameraman for basketball season, so it's kind of hard to believe it's already 10 years is already upon us, and we're looking forward to another great year coming up here in about a couple months from now. But we're doing this just kind of again wrap up the year, what everything kind of looked like. You look all the way back at the volleyball season, the Wapahani Raider volleyball team, such a young group but such a talented group. And you have a head coach here in Katie Weir and her entire coaching staff that has been just top notch, and expect a lot out of the girls, and the girls expect a lot out of themselves. And that's why they've continued to be successful, back-to-back state championship runner-ups. That says a lot about the team. Now, obviously you'd rather win the thing, but just to get there. Yeah, I mean, just to get there is quite the journey, and it's a tough one. There's a lot of really good teams out there, us being included in on that. And so to see how they came together as a team, especially in such a tough environment. You're playing in the middle of a pandemic. You have all these protocols you got to abide by. The fans, there's guidelines with that, with masks, and then limited capacity. And so it's very different, and you got all these other different places that you're playing at, and then those guidelines have to be abided by, because there was some places that was a little bit different than other places. But really for the most part, I mean, it was all pretty drawn out, what's expected, and so it was a tough task, I think, for everybody, but everybody cooperated. Everybody was very responsible, us included. We wanted to make sure and do our job to make sure that we was safe about going about things, and like I said, here we are 10 months later, and we had a really truly a great volleyball season. And when we look back at all the different things that we had seen throughout the course of the year, with just the way they played, again, the togetherness that they had, it was truly, truly special. And really looking forward to another great year this year. And, the seniors, throughout the course of the year, whether it be in volleyball or basketball or soccer, baseball, softball, track and field, golf, I don't care what it is. There's sports that we covered this year, wrestling being one of those, and girls soccer and boys soccer that we've never covered before. And so, we try to kind of branch out a little bit and try to get more content out there, so then not only to give the student athletes the recognition, but give the parents the availability to be able to watch. And we hope to be able to do more soccer games and track and field meets, in the course of the next few years here. Hopefully we can start to build those up a little bit. But, schedule-wise makes it a little bit tougher. But that was a real treat to be able to go out there and to broadcast the soccer games. Great coaching staff there. Head Coach Zeiger, a sponsor of us here on the WHS network as well. Great group he has out there. The boys, they were the same thing. And so, again, we're looking forward to hopefully being out there a little bit more this upcoming year. But they had a great year last year. When then you look at the boys and girls basketball seasons, neither team coming into the season had a lot coming back from the previous year. You look at the boys basketball team, they graduated 4 of their 5 starters from the starting lineup. You're replacing a good portion of your team. And then, you had some other guys that decided, not to play. And so you was down around 6 or 7 guys at least. And so, you're really heavily leaning on the youth to really come through, and boy, oh boy, did it. You won a sectional championship. It was in the Delaware County championship game. Unfortunately lost, but, you had a lot of these little check marks. You had a thrilling conference championship game there against Shenandoah. Again, came up just a little bit short. But, I mean, these are top-notch teams that the Raiders played against. And like I said, then won the sectional 40 championship game against another tough Frankton team there. And then played Luke Brown and the Blackford Bruins there in the regional. Came up a little bit short that time, but just a great season and a great group of young men, great coaching staff, again, led there by head coach Matt Luce. The girls basketball team headed up there by head coach Scott Hudson, another team that very young, very inexperienced, but was a lot of fun to watch. They had spurts throughout the course of the year where, they'd be playing some really good basketball, and then some other times where we weren't exactly playing the best basketball. And you can say that for any team, for any sport. That's just part of the game. It's unfortunate, but, especially, you add into the overall youth and inexperience of the team, it makes it tough. It makes it tough on the girls to be able to come out there and have the right mindset every game. If things aren't going so well, it's always a little bit tougher to kind of find your footing a little bit. But, these girls, I think, really fought hard throughout the course of the year, stuck to the game plan, stuck to their, to the togetherness and the family camaraderie of being a team aspect, which I think is extremely important to the success of any team. And, we've seen that once again this year with this girls basketball team, and hopefully that program can continue just to grow, build off of what they're, trying to establish out here under head coach Scott Hudson, and hopefully we'll have another great year this year. Then you look at the baseball and softball teams. We also did track and field. We did get one meet in there. It was nice to be out there at the track field. Again, they just built a brand new press box. Last year, during everything that was going on, they had the availability to do that, get an early start on things, and so that's why we was able to do those soccer games and do a track and field meet as well. And we're hoping that, again, we'll try to get out here and do some more of those, but just a lot of excitement there's, with that. I think that's kind of an underrated sport. There's a lot that goes into that, not only from the track side of things, but also in the field with shot put and discus, which we didn't necessarily get to that. But there's so much that goes into all these different sports, and the hard work you got to put into be able to, carve out your craft, so to speak, and to find your niche and to be able to be successful throughout the course of the season. And so head coach Bo Stevenson, his entire coaching staff there do a fantastic job with the girls and the boys. And we're looking forward to another great year next year. But, you look at softball this year, another team, you got a brand new head coach in Jeff Masters, coming in here, not exactly knowing what to expect because softball hadn't played in 2 years. And so, you pretty much have a brand new team to look at with a brand new coach. Didn't know, like I said, you didn't know exactly what to expect. And these girls came out here each and every single day, whether it be in practice or in a game, ready to play and to try to put their best foot forward and to win ball games. And I think throughout the course of the year, we ended up finishing, I think, right at just above 500. And a lot to be proud of, I think, and at least in my opinion. Now, did you get where you wanted to get to ultimately? Well, no. I mean, everybody wants to win championships and so on and so forth. But, when you're having a group of young ladies here that hasn't played at the varsity level, and very few of them have played at the varsity level, and then you're relying on that youth to kind of carry you, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for any team, let alone us. But I thought that the girls did a fantastic job. Jeff Masters, I think, is a very good coach. You got Chris Lee and Sarah Masters and others as well. That I think, if you can get some girls interested and to be, I guess, all in on playing and come out here and again, work at it and try to get better, I think that team's going to be very dangerous because they are so young. They have the potential to be good for a very long time. And, just continue to build the program over and over and over again. So, that was a lot of fun to watch. Greatly appreciate Jeff Masters and his entire coaching staff for allowing us to be a part of their season. And, again, like I said, we're looking forward to next year already. Going to be a great group of young ladies to watch. But then lastly here we have the baseball season. That ended just about a week and a half or so ago. Regional championship game. Unfortunately, the loss there to Delphi. But what a season. What a season. You come out here and you have the year that we had. I think we ended up finishing, 29-2. And like I said, it's still astonishing to me to see how these guys continue to mature throughout the course of the season and have that, again, that family, folks. I tell you what, having the team aspect and being able to play together for one another, not for yourself, but for one another, I think it's just, to me, it's the best feeling you can have, just knowing that it's not necessarily about you specifically, it's about the team aspect and how I can help the team win. And, and having that unselfish attitude, that's what's going to win you a lot of games, no matter what sport it is. Obviously, yes, you have to have the talent, no doubt about that. But just seeing the way these guys came together throughout the course of the year, again, hadn't played in 2 years, and not knowing exactly what to expect coming into this season. I know myself and Redbeard here talked about that at the beginning of the year, all the way back there in middle to later part of March. I even came out here during their spring break, and because they always have that whole week where they're out here practicing for 4 or 5 hours, and I'm out here looking at them. I'm like, man, this is spring break, and we got something here. I mean, I legit thought that. I mean, there was only a couple practices in, but I'm thinking to myself, these guys look like they're pretty good here. And again, we haven't played in 2 years, and so you didn't know exactly how things were going to turn out, what, who was going to be playing where. You kind of had some inkling and what the lineup might look like. But the seniors this year, the last time they played was their sophomore year. And, some of them didn't even play varsity. And so it's a whole evolving, thing here as far as, where these guys came from and how it all ended up. It's truly, like I said, it's truly phenomenal what they was able to do this season, and the happiness that they brought not only to themselves but to their families and the fans and the Selma community. It was just absolutely wonderful to watch, and I wouldn't have traded that for nothing. That was a lot of fun. Then you had the historic home run, the 3-run walk-off homer from Gavin Noble to win it for your Wapahani Raiders over Monroe Central there in the Sectional 40 championship game. That was definitely one of my favorite calls I've ever had, and I probably
we were going crazy in the press box.
Well, and you get in a moment like that, and I know I was even telling this to Redbeard after this happened. I've watched a lot of baseball throughout the course of the years. I played baseball for 13 years of my life, and I mean, I feel like I kind of know the game pretty well. You can never, I guess, 100% say, "Oh, this is going to happen." 100%, because if that's the case, then
You'd
everybody,
win every time,
you'd win every
There'd be
time.
no point.
And but coming into that at bat before that, I think it might have been the Paul Fisher at bat. I thought to myself, you know what? I had a feeling that he was going to get on base, Foster was going to get on base, and then Gavin Noble was going to hit a 3-run homer. I just had that feeling, and that was during the Paul Fisher at bat, which was 2 at bats before him. And so I'm thinking, man, wouldn't that be neat? So I was kind of gearing up for that call. I'm like, I'm probably gonna, go crazy, but
We did.
that's the fun of things.
Yeah.
The excitement and the thrill of the moment was just magical. And I mean, as soon as he hit it, we knew, you just knew it was going to be gone. And so that was just a phenomenal experience, and wonderful for Gavin, and more importantly, the team. You got head coach Brian Dudley and all of his assistants, Jason Dudley, Jonathan Riddle, top-notch guys. I played under head coach Brian Dudley and Jason Dudley. They've been at it for quite a few years together, to say the least. I think Brian's been out here for 37, 38 years. He's kind of been there, done it all. And it's nice to be able to sit back. During my playing days, I got to see a whole new side of him. And then, now after my playing days, being able to watch him still, get after it, down there at the third base line, when Gavin hit that home run, he was pumping his fist, and, you just love that. You live for moments like that. And I'll remember that probably forever. That was truly phenomenal. And so pretty much, again, with all that, we just want to say how blessed we truly are, and how thankful we are, to the coaches and all the head coaches, Katie Weir and Matt Luce and Scott Hutz and Jeff Zeiger. We did some wrestling, and that's what head coaches.
Jerry Delk and Charlie Thomas.
Yes,
Yep.
Those were 2 great guys. We was really thrilled to be able to come out and do some wrestling this year. When you have, like I said, Bo Stevenson, Brian Dudley, and Jeff Masters, all top-notch head coaches out here. And, there was other sports, golf. It's kind of hard for us to cover golf. But that was, that's so important as well. Cross country, there's just so much that goes on out here, and so much time that's invested by these coaches and their coaching staffs. I don't think they probably quite get, all the recognition that they might even deserve. And so a big thanks to all of them for all the times that they spend in whatever respective sports that they coach for. And not only that, for just allowing us to be able to broadcast for your teams, all year long. Like I said, this is a 10-month thing.
Yeah.
And, we do this because we enjoy doing it. Sure, is there things that we could probably be doing else? Oh, yeah. I mean, there's probably other things that we could be doing, but we'd rather do this. This is a lot of fun. We enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun, and we have a great time being able to showcase these young student athletes and to be able to give them all the support that they rightfully deserve and all the recognition that they rightfully deserve. So big thanks to the coaches. Also big thanks there to Superintendent Mr. Brian Roush, Wapahani High School Principal Mr. Mark Fahey, and Wapahani High School Athletic Director Mr. Matt Luce. Greatly appreciate those 3 guys for the support they give us, and being able to come out here and to give recognition to their sports, their Wapahani High School sports, and to the school and to the community. So it really means a lot to us. So thank you to those 3 guys. All the student athletes, thank you for allowing us to be a part of of your lives in some capacity for allowing us to be able to broadcast your games. To the seniors, each and every single one of you, greatly appreciate you guys so much. 4 years or, and sometimes even, you even go back into the middle school days, being able to watch you. You guys mean a lot to us, and being able to broadcast your games and to watch you, especially over the course of how many ever years, and to watch you grow not only as players but as just people. It's really neat to see, and it's very rewarding to watch each and every single one of them grow into great people and great players and athletes and students. It really, really is. So thank you to all the student athletes and to all the seniors. And then lastly, we want to thank all of you out there in Raider Nation that tune in every single ball game. We covered, I think it was right about 200 games this year, 200 broadcasts we had this year. We covered the graduation ceremony of 2020 and the graduation ceremony of 2021. So we had, right about 200 broadcasts this year. That's a lot, and I think that's definitely the most we've ever done in a year. We usually do anywhere from maybe 100, 150, and there was a lot of other games that we didn't get the broadcast, but we still went, and we were still there keeping stats and trying to keep everyone updated on social media. And so, if you factor even all those in, we probably even exceeded that. But, just being able to have the support of all of you, the family members and community members, and just anyone that just wants to sit back and watch a ball game, it means a lot to us that you support us, but more importantly, you support the student athletes and the teams and the coaches. It's really, really special. I think it's a really neat thing. When this was all brought to my attention back in 2011, it was maybe June or July of 2011, something like that. I was approached by Matt Luce. At the time, he was a teacher and the boys basketball coach. And when we originally started, it was only supposed to be for boys basketball. This wasn't going to be like a multi-sport deal where we're going to be doing it for, how many ever years. At the time, our boys basketball team was really good, and they was just wanting something for that, and they had some family members that was wanting to watch from other states, and so they was like, well, hey, we'd like to do this, and they approached me about doing the play-by-play broadcasting, and I agreed to do it, and did that the whole entire volleyball season. I wanted to kind of get my feet wet a little bit to start off with the volleyball season, so that's the reason why I started in September. Long behold, our volleyball team was really good, and it's been really good ever since. And end up winning the state championship that year. And we've covered I think close to seven or eight state championship games. And so it's quite phenomenal. But like I said, 2011, I got started there in September. November came. I realized on red and white night that I was going to need a cameraman, and thus Redbeard. I picked him out in the stands. I said, "Hey, you want to come out here and possibly do this for me by chance?" And he agreed to it. And after a few games, I think it was, I was like, hey, would you like to kind of do this full time? And he agreed to it, and here we are.
The rest is history.
The rest is literally history.
Yeah, here we are now.
And so we've had a long road together, going up and down the road, all these different games, and here we are 10 years later. Like I said, it's mind-boggling, to think that what went from just doing boys basketball is now doing right around 6 or 7 different sports, or at least 6 or 7 different teams, and doing 200 games or so a year. I would have never thought that this would have necessarily grown into this, and not only that, but I didn't think I'd be doing it this long. But when you enjoy something and when you love something enough, it makes it easy. I mean, doing this, I can do this stuff in my sleep. And to be honest with you, I'll probably talk about sports in my sleep, to be honest with you.
You probably do.
You know, I'll be at home laying on the couch at night and fall asleep and be, talking about a game that I just broadcast or something. You know, it's kind of second nature now at this point. But it's a lot of fun. We enjoy what we do. It's been a great ride throughout this season. It's been a tough year with the pandemic. We're starting to, I think, slowly but surely, come around to the finish line, hopefully with that, and hopefully things will continue to get better with, just the whole, the sickness and people, getting sick and that's just bad deal. We don't like that. Nobody likes that. And so hopefully things will continue to get better there with that. And I think it definitely is at this point, but, hopefully come August, we won't have to wear masks anymore. And, just a lot of different changes that we had this year, but we fought through it all, and we've came back good here on the other side for the most part, and got to witness some great games and some great wins and some championships and just a whole lot of fun in between. So again, we thank each and every single one of you for tuning in all season long. Like I said, it was just a phenomenal year for all of our teams. To be able to watch them succeed and to have fun and being able to kind of feel that somewhat normalcy and not such a normal time, and to see the smiles on their faces when they was able to win. I mean, it's priceless. So I'm gonna zip my mouth, and Redbeard, if you got something.
No, you pretty much covered it all.
I covered the bases as usual.
Yeah. No, you really. It's been a good year, and a lot of success, lots of wins, good moments. So it's been fun.
It has been fun, and we'll be back at it here in a couple months. It's
before you know it.
Yeah, I mean it's June 15th right now. That's what day it is right now, and I think our first game is right there in the middle part of August with Wapahani Raider volleyball again, gearing up for another season, Class 3A this year after being state runner-ups the last couple years in 2A. And
maybe make some noise in 3A.
That's the hope. That's the hope, and it's going to be a challenge, no doubt about it. But I think the girls are definitely going to be up for that challenge, and head coach Katie Weir is going to be up for the challenge, as well as our coaching staff. Which, again, by the way, we said this in our baseball broadcast at the end, but we want to extend our congratulatory celebration, I guess, if you will, there of head coach Katie Weir and her husband TJ. Welcome to baby boy into the world. And it just so happens to be Jordan. I'm not sure exactly what that
it's such a great name.
Yeah, well, maybe for them. I don't know I'm just kidding. But again, congratulations there to Katie and TJ. They have a handsome little boy there, and hopefully we'll be be able to see that little one there come August. But really looking forward to it, folks. Again, thank you all for tuning in throughout the season and throughout our broadcast again here tonight. Again, this has been our Raider Sports Report. Again, wrapping up this 2020 athletic year. So again, we'll be back at it in middle of August. That's when you'll see us next. We'll have our season preview show coming up for the Wapahani volleyball season right there in the early to middle part of August. And once again, we'll hit the ground running for year number 10. It's already upon us, folks. Again, thank you all for tuning in. And again, we'll see you next time here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.